Well, I just keep making more findings in the house, and I've got some new discoveries today, which I think is the problem that we've been having here, is this brown gunk. It's really sticky. It's hard to move. It's hard to air out. It's hard to clean. And we're going to go look at the hallway real quick. So I hired a professional carpet cleaner that came in, and we've moved everything. I can't move the desk or the big fish tank, but everything else in the living room here has been moved. All of this carpet was cleaned, and we still have some brown margins around the edge that we can't get out. We have a good bit down here along the edges that haven't come out. You can see that kind of a tan line along the edge. Now he's got a scrubber head on his machine, but as we get down here, it really gets bad. You can see in this back corner this brown gunk that just doesn't want to come up. So he's had a kind of a clean line across here. I know, George, we're talking about the flooring. That's right in your face. But you can see it. It's just gunked on all along the edges here. And this is not like long-term buildup, because I typically have my carpets cleaned every year, and of course the last 3 years I haven't felt well with all of this stuff going on, and so I haven't been able to deal with people, to be honest, and it's just manifested itself. But even here in the bedroom, I can't get the carpets clean totally. There are still some real gunky bits along the edges here and stuff that won't come up. And we're still off-gassing terribly. I mean, a lot. So today's spring, March 21st, 2026. It's about 1 p.m. And the kitties are waking me up every morning at 6 a.m. crying because the air quality's gotten worse, and I think it's as the house cools down. But I can't get this to stop, and I think the next step is to remove carpets, because I don't think we can get them clean. Now the carpet guy's coming back again tomorrow, but I think what I'm gonna do is just save this piece. This is the south end of the house, so that's my fish room, master, sewing room, and bathroom. And I can't get this floor clean either. There's kind of a tan haze over it right now that you can see pretty well when you're sitting down, and it kind of outlines. There was a carpet fragment that was here, and that's out in the garage. We could not get that clean either, and so I do have baking soda sprinkled on the floor right now just as an absorbent to try to pick this stuff up and neutralize it. It's very acidic. The kitties got a little sponge bath last night to help them deal with it, but and there is some baking powder that got sprinkled all over the floors. So I think what I'm going to do is cut out that chunk of carpet and save it, and show that it's, this is going to be just full of junk. But let's go in the kitchen. I'll show you some more. So I have a box of these oral swabs, and I think these are they have no flavor added, because I use these. There's their numbers. I used these when I had my foot injury, and we're using it to clean my foot with betadine, and then disinfect it and put on medicines and that. So I think what I'm going to do is open these individually and use them as a test swab. Now, I am looking for a company right now that does these swabs, but I think I just want to build a little library and have samples available that I've stowed, because I need to finish cleaning. And so I'm going to take some of these swabs and I'll open them up, and then I'm going to swab some containers. And then I've got a box of some brand new sandwich bags, and I'm gonna bag them up with labels on them so that we know exactly what we're dealing with here. I think 4 is probably plenty for now. And then I've also got some brand new Q-tips because I think the green is going to be a little harder to see in contrast what's going on, but the Q-tips will show you. But look at this net. This is the net that I use to catch my honeybees in for bee venom therapy. And it, of course, it is new, but look how brown it is. So this brown gunk right here is just exactly what I've been coughing up and what has been coating everything in the house. I think this is a loss anyway, so I'm going to unscrew the head here and put this in a clean bag. And then here's another item. Now this is a mesh bag that I bought years ago for a zipper for my fish tank. And I bought some of these ceramic beads that go in there. And this gives a lot of surface area for the beneficial bacteria. And you put it inside the mesh bag here, and it will help to filter and bring down your nitrates and chemicals. And once again, look at this brown gunk. This is that nasty brown sticky gunk that I can't get out. It's really gnarly. And this was in the enclosed cabinet under my big fish tank, the 180 right there in the living room. And so this is also what we've been breathing. It's really nasty. So this is going to go into a bag. Now there's a fly swatter on a hook right here. And on that hook, right here by that patio door is where that butterfly mesh net is right here. And just so we know what that looks like, honeybee catch net hanging next to the patio door. This is going to be bagged on 3/21/26. And then I have a bag here, and these are closed. Fish media filter mesh bag was under the 180-gallon tank in the living room on 3/21/26. And then I've got underneath here, I've got a box. That cardboard box right there has some tile in it. We're going to do some swabs off of that. And that's going to go in the tile box surface below the TV in the family room, 3/21/26. So essentially I'm trying to set up a chain of custody to show where these things have been and what they've been through. And I'm going to hold back most of this media because it's just going to cost to ship it. And we really, I think, just need to test the bag. And I'm going to leave about 12 in there because that might maybe give them another surface to consider. All right, so there's the fish filter media. Here's the honeybee net. And I think what I'm going to do is cut that off the rim because I don't think the rim's going to fit in this bag. So I'm just going to trim this off with a pair of scissors. If I can get scissors to work for me. Should be able to just pop that off, but I think they glued it on there. They manufactured this little net. There we go. So I'm just going to cut the mesh off of this wire rim. This is not an expensive piece. It's about a $5 little bug catching net for kids, but it works really good at catching bees for therapy. Right now I think it's going to be some pretty useful filter media because this thing is grody and filthy, and it's made out of nylon, which seems to be what is prevalent. Here's what you've been breathing, Dad. No wonder my lungs are collapsed and we've got all kinds of problems going on here. This is what's been airborne for this soot and toxin for 18 months now. And so here's the honeybee catchment net. So let's go get some samples off of that tile box now, and maybe there'll be another little something down there that I want to do a sample on. Alright, now what I think I'm going to do on this guy here is to open this end and kind of make a sock out of it so that I can swab it and then put it back, right? So let's see here. I'm going to come to the back. Well, that ought to be a pretty good sample. Yeah, there's some cat hair in there. Let's do... I'm not going to touch that side now. Wow. Okay, that's pretty gross. If I put it back in this sterile container, that should prevent some cross-contamination, right? That's, that is really gross. Alright, let me get another sandwich bag because I want it. So this is the one that's off of the tile box. Okay, because this is a box of tile. Real quick. So here are some metal tiles for the boat and little hexagons. And you guys maybe seen that in another video. I'm gonna do some off of that, and then I have some of this shade cloth here. I think we're just gonna cut a sample of that out. All right, so this I'm gonna call the fireplace mantle in the family room. So we're gonna come right up here, and I've got a spot here that I have not cleaned yet that I want to clean, and yep, there's lots of that brown crud up here. Lots and lots. Gross. I took the end off of this one. A little smarter. Let's test a new spot. Oof. I think George is having some troubles. I need to pay attention to her. So we're going to put these in now in this bag. At some point, I'm going to find a company that can test this. I haven't found one yet. So there's fireplace mantle. Alright, I've got some scissors here. We're going to go cut some of this fabric off that shade cloth here and send that in. Let's see if we can't get this tested. Here's the bag shade cloth from under the TV in the family room. That's a nice piece that's been on top there. Let's just take some off of that. Scissors don't like that. Okay. I'm going to put that in the bag. Alright. I've added a bag. This was some fluff only dryer lint that I collected from the lint screen on the dryer. The particulate levels have been really high, and I think running them through, just even though I air dry outside, running them through a fluff, it got all this extra fabric out. And there is some cat here and there, but it's not a lot. And then I've got the mantle sample that we took. We have the sample that we took from the tile box, which is looking pretty grody. The fish filter media, which is mind-blowing. And this, the honeybee net. It's astonishing how gross that is. And that's what we've been forced to breathe. And then I've got an overall bag that I'm going to put all the house samples into, and to hold on until I find the right lab. Now, it's likely that I will take fragments of this and ship to those companies as I find them, and keep samples back so that I have a library of all the samples that I sustain, and that way I've got some control over things if things get lost. But I think this is the best way to go right now, is to collect this stuff and to have it as evidence. Because I think, sadly, this is going to go into some kind of an issue down the road. EWEB just hasn't treated me right, and they haven't taken care of me and the kitties. And so I'm going to have this tested and find out what it's containing. I've had a hell of a time trying to find somebody that would do this. Everybody wants to do environmental testing. Well, I've swapped and switched over formats and trying to find somebody that can test fabrics, because you can't wash this stuff out, I don't think. I will get samples of the carpet, and I will get samples of my air cleaner filter, and anything else I can think of that would display what's going on here. But yeah, this is a real mess right now. I don't think this stuff can be saved and cleaned, because my professional cleaners are not having success. We had one on the truck interior, and maybe the truck wasn't that bad to start with, having slept in the garage, but I can still smell it in my couch when I'm sleeping there at night, and that's not good. So, and you heard George, she's crying because she's under distress, and it's from this toxin that they're having to deal with now that they're home again. And we've been home for 2 days, and I don't know if we're going to be able to stay. We may end up in a tent out in the yard here very shortly. I don't have any other options, is the problem. So anyway, I'm collecting samples, but you can see there's that's not supposed to be in your lungs, people. This is what smoldering wires did to my house. It's ruined everything. Thanks, EWEB. Thanks a lot for abandoning us in our true time of need. You show that we're absolutely worthless to you. Good job. Eugene Water and Electric Board. Shameful, people. Shameful.